Once again, good morning to all of you. So, this is Digital Signal Processing Lab. It is 18 UCL 505. 5 is missing out there, and 1.5 credit course. Okay. Both Vijay Madam and myself for the department lab in charges for this particular lab. Again, when I say that prerequisite is it is signals and systems is the basic system. Here are the some course learning objectives of this particular lab, where students will able to get a simple practical experience in how to process the signals, how to design a simple filters, and how to realize them using MATLAB. So these are the course outcomes where you try to write a simple programs to manipulate the signals and to find out the response of the LTI systems. When I say that response of LTI systems, it is nothing but a convolution operation that what you try to perform. So that's where the student will able to uh, come to know about writing programs to manipulate the signals to find the response of an LTI systems and further to compute a discrete Fourier transform and its inverse, verifying the various properties of DFT like circular convolution property, Parseval's theorems, etc. And further again we try to apply the same properties of DFT to solve some signal processing applications, where we try to obtain a fast Fourier transform applications. And that in the yesterday's class we discussed two important applications like solving a endpoint DFT using two endpoint DFTs and solving two real sequences using single endpoint DFTs as such. And next we also teach you how to design or how to write a simple analog filters for a given specifications. Followed once you understand the design of analog filters, later we will also go through how to design digital filters and what is the difference between analog filters and digital filters. So all these are the outcomes. When I say that outcomes, it is actually we will perform at the end of this course. You will come to know about all of this outcomes right from signal manipulations to till design of digital filters. Okay, these are uh, the lab experiments that are kept for the uh, lab. So for this academic year, and right from the basic signal processing applications, response of an LTI systems, computation of DFT, IDFT and its properties, frequency analysis of a signal using DFT, linear filtering of long data sequence, which is nothing but overlap and overlap save method and overlap add method, then efficient computation of DFT. That's what we did it in last class. We once again we try to make it on my system, and we'll try to run those examples in MATLAB. Again, further moving further, design of analog IIR and digital IIR filters for a given specifications. Once you understand the IIR filter operations, then we try to analyze how to design a digital IIR filter and some applications of the signal processing. This is what given syllabus for your lab. Okay. Again, for the lab also, we try to make use of the same references book like Prokis and Manolicus for digital signal processing and its principles, algorithm and applications, which is from Pearson edition. Sanjit K. Mishra and Lee Tan. Lee Tan is one of the best textbook for understanding the basic fundamental programming for DSP. Okay. Now that's what coming to the introduction part. So the name MATLAB stands for Matrix Laboratory, which is a high performance computing language, and where which is purely any data is represented in the form of matrix or the vector formulation. You give me any data, I try to represent that particular data in the pattern of matrix, and we perform some matrix operations uh, for processing my further mathematical equations. Okay, given any mathematical equation can be represented in the form of matrix, right? So take an example. You have two simultaneous equation. Okay, how do you solve those simultaneous equation? Obviously, there's a matrix method approach, right? So that's how this is one simple example. That's what I told you, how we try to map a given equation in the form of matrix. Okay, now I'll here I'll stop my presentation. I'll directly go to MATLAB. So let us not waste much time by presentations. Now this is a MATLAB 2013 versions that what I have in my system, and you will be getting some cracked versions of 19 or MATLAB 20. If you find it, it's well and good, and install it. Or you will also get some uh, one month uh, demo, 1 month. Uh, uh, what is it? For 1 month, you will get a free license from the MATLAB itself. You can install and you can practice it. There are some live compilers, online compilers, MATLAB compilers. Use those to perform. Okay, and more of this is something like Python programming itself, where you don't require any data types. The first and foremost important thing is what is the difference in what the difference that you feel in C programming and what the difference that you feel in a MATLAB. When I say that C programming, like C program directly speaks to hardware, which means I write a simple C program. In turn, my compiler will directly give that compiled program. When I say that compilation, it is nothing but a machine level code. Converting a high level program to a machine level program is directly executed by hardware. But what happens in MATLAB is MATLAB will be running on one operating system, and in turn the output of MATLAB is given to operating system in turn once again will talk to hardware, once again hardware back to operating system back to MATLAB. So this is how the data flow takes place. Okay, but one of the advantage is yeah, unlike a C programming, MATLAB does not require any data types. Okay, to start with, I just want to say uh, a variable, or I just want to write one or one. So look at this. I just press enter here. It it Okay, now it simply say that how this data is going to be represented in the MATLAB. One is a data which is going to be stored as 1 cross 1 matrix. So column is also 1, row is also 1. That's how it takes. And one of the important thing that you should understand in this is there are three main windows. One is current folder, and another one is command window, and another one is editor window, and this part is workspace and command history. The workspace is the one where it consisting of which all the variables that you have used in your programming. So variable x, variable y, variable a, b, c, as such. Okay. Command window is something like where you try to give a command and try to execute immediately. It is, I treat this as something like a rough page for me. Okay, and sometimes if you want to see the output in terms of numbers, not in terms of figures, in terms of numbers, then once again my program will be in the editor window. I write m scripting in editor window. I see the output in command window. Okay, so it also behaves like a output window for me here. Okay, then command history, so which all the commands that you have used in your entire programming, so that what speaks about command history. Okay, now let me say, as I told you, the MATLAB does not require any of the data types as such. So I'll give you simple examples, like I take one of the variable a and I just say 2. So immediately it give me, since when I write in MATLAB, when I write it, so MATLAB is basically a interpreter. What do you mean by interpreter? So it executes line by line. Now the moment I say a equal to 3, so earlier a was 2, now a is going to be replaced by 3. Immediately it is giving me the output, right? Now the moment you write a line of code, it executes. Okay, so I write another p value is equal to 4, so it executes stating that b is 4, right? So this is what the beauty of interpreter, it executes line by line. Now, again, look at the one more important point here. I haven't specified any data type to say whether A is an integer variable or A is a floating point data type or A is a character data type. I simply say that A equal to 3, it executed, right? So you just take a C equal to, I just go for taking this as A equal to C equal to 1.5. So automatically it takes the value of C as floating point without defining any data type for my variables. That's one of the important and beauty of this MATLAB. So directly once I can go for performing the additions of one variable with another variable. Look at this, y is equal to a plus b, where a and b are integer, and again y will be integer by default. Okay, is it not possible for me to add one integer and one uh, floating point? Yes, you can check it out. I say a equal to z equal to a plus c, where a is integer data type and c is a floating point data type, and it will give me a answer z as floating point data itself. Now see here, we are not going for any typecasting or any kind of alteration in my program. Directly it is taking whatever it is required. Now if I want to give specify y is equal to some character, I just use of a single inverted code and this a, I'll say a. Now it will going to display its as a character, right? Y is equal to a is my character here. So this is a simple, very simple example where the importance of not using any data types to declare a variables. Am I clear? And which all the variables that you already used here, look at this in the command window, all these variables will be present in my workspace. Look at this. A I used the value of A is 3. It is also consisting of its equivalent value and the variables, right? Okay. If I don't use any of the variables, what type of variable it will assume that? In MATLAB, by default, there is a variable called ANS. So the moment I say that, again I can say that Z equals to Z plus A. Simply I say Z plus A. So z is one variable which consisting of 4.5 and a is consisting of 3, and it is giving me 7.5, but on the left hand side it is not being assigned to any of the variable, but it takes its own well defined variable, that is ANS. So default variable of MATLAB is ANS. Okay, ANS is the default variable, and even there are some built-in functions. You just write a pi, then it will show you the value of pi. Okay, now, now let me take you to how to define a vector using MATLAB. So I want to clear this command. Before to that, I want to clear this command. So how do you clear the command window? And that's where I have a special command called CLC. CLC is used to clear the command. Okay, so command window is now once again cleared. It is something like a duster for me to rub my board. That's it. But look at this, there are still the values are present. Even if I present, let me say ANS is the latest variable value, that is 3.14. like I used pi, so that's where pi, when I type pi, it gave me 3.14. Now okay, now let me go back to a value is 3, right? Capital Y was A, right? Still, in workspace, those values are present, which means variables are present. So I want to clear these variables also. Okay, I want to clear command window followed by the variables also, content of variables and everything. So I will be using clear all. Clear all clears the workspace. Look at this now. Look at the workspace after editing. Yeah. So it erases all the variables and its equivalent value, right? So there are two special commands. One is CLC and CLEAR all. Clear and clear all. You should able to differentiate the difference between CLC and CLEAR. Okay. Next. Now I want to define a vector where vector A consisting of 1 to 10 numbers. Okay, let me not take a big number. Let me take a very small number. I want to store the variable A with 5 numbers. How do you write? So that's where you try to write 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 and 5. So this is what? This is A is a vector consisting of 5 numbers. Okay, so where uh, I just press enter. Now A is a vector. See here, even for defining a vector we are not specifying whether it is a type of array or whether it is a type of the single bit variable as such. But it was not possible in C programming. Am I right? So it is so simple that automatically a value started taking the vectored value here. Look at this workspace. Again, you can see the value of A here. Now, okay, I want to fetch the content of A of 1, A of 2 as such. Look at this. A of 1. What should be the value of A of 1? Can anyone in the chat box? What should be the value of A of 1? A of 1. Okay. 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 Now let me see whether I'm going to get A of 1 equal to 2 or not. Okay. It is this. Okay. In small bracket. No. Your answer is wrong quite. Many of you told 2, 2, 2, 2, right? Because you think that the indexing of the variable starts from 0, and this is not true in case of MATLAB. So always the indexing of a array starts with 1, not 0, which means that we have a in a C programming I have a understanding that when I declare an array, so I always start reading the first content as a of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4 as such. But this is not true with respect to MATLAB programming. MATLAB programming always never, it don't contain any negative numbers also. Negative indexing. A of minus 1, A of minus 2, A of minus 3 as such. Even A of 0 is also not present. It is starting with A of 1. Okay, not A of 0. So hence A of 1 is equal to 1, not it is not equal to 2. You got my point? Okay. Now, so in the same case, if I write A of 0, let me check what happens here. So look at this. Subscript indices must be either real positive integers or logical. Real positive integers means, so it has to start with only 1, not with 0 or any other before to 0. Okay, so that's important. That's one of the very important point you should understand. Now, is it possible to add the vector, the variable within the vectors? Let me say I want to add the content of A of 2 and the content of A of 5. Yes, still it is possible. You can go for addition. So let me say y variable is equal to a of 1, which is 1. Okay, let me take another value, a of 2 plus content of a of 3. What is a of 3? It is 3. What is a of 2? It is 2. So the output must be 5 in this case, right? So look at this. So this is how you can perform, or you can fetch the content from an array, and the array addition, the individual array elements addition, multiplication, division is also possible from this, right? So okay, now the another thing, so let me clear this again. Now I want to generate the only the numbers running from 1 to 10. Now how do you do it? So you just go on writing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Like this you try to generate a variable which comprising a number from 1 to 10. Now if I ask you to generate a variable which comprises, or which could store a numbers from 1 to 100, how do you do it, right? So this was very simple. Okay, even if I ask you to generate 20, you still write that 11 12 13 up to 20. But if I say that a should give me the value ranging from 1 to 100, now that could be a little not a true value of writing. I should have some logic to write in a very simple way, right? So that's where I always specify the first starting number. I need to generate from the first number, right? 1 up till. So it is next increment value, right? Increment by increment of how many times? One time, up to last value is 100. Okay, so this colon, the second value indicates that how much increment, the starting value. It is something as good as a for loop. Here I can use for loop, or else very simple way I can use this. It is as good as an operation like a for loop itself, where starting number then followed by increment till the last value it reaches. And now I press enter. Look at this, it is generating the values from right from 1 up till 100. Okay, now look at this. I want to generate only the even numbers from 1 to 100. I want to generate even numbers from 1 to 100. What you do? The starting number is obviously 2. Then how many jumps it has to take? 2. Then followed by till last value 100. Look at this. Now it is generating me only 50 values right from only the even numbers running from 1 to 100. Similarly, I can write odd numbers. How do you generate odd numbers which are moving from 1 to 100? So again, starting number is 1, followed by jump is 2, then up till 100. So it is giving me only the odd numbers, right? So this is how I will be using this colon for generate as good as the for loop in such cases. Okay, now the another important point that I would like to tell you is let me go for some uh, defining a matrix. Okay, then I go for addition of matrix and multiplication of matrix as such. Now how do you write a simple matrix, 2 cross 2 matrix? How do you define a simple 2 cross 2 matrix? Okay, let me take another variable x. I want to write a matrix x equal to 1 2 3 4, or okay 10 20 30 40. How do you write it? So that's where once again open bracket. So first value first row first value 10, comma, first row second value 20, then semicolon. I want to go for second row, right? Second row first column, second row first value, that is 30, and followed by 40. So this is how I try to write the numbers. Remove the space, this one here. So here look at this. This semicolon indicates the the splitting of that number, or moving the forthcoming values into another or a next row. Okay, division of row. Okay, then I just press enter. Now look at this. Is this clear? Now let me take you another variable where I just want to 2 cross 3 row is uh, uh, column must be 2, huh? But row must be 3. 3 cross 2. Okay, 3 cross 2. Let me take variables values 2 comma 4. Okay, uh, I have two columns now, column 1 and column 2. Okay, next, once again I'll press semicolon, then another values 6 and 7. Again I want third row here. I just write the third row elements. Now it is, look at this, 2 4 6 7 10 30. So where semicolon indicates the forthcoming value should be put it in the next column as such. Okay, next row, I'm sorry, next row as such. Okay, so this is how we try to declare a matrix. Okay, now I want to see what is the size of this particular matrix. What is the length of the array as such. So earlier I told you A was running from 1 to 99. Okay, I want to know about the length of this array. Okay, so there is a one uh, built-in function called length of which variable that I want to see, it is length of A. Now look at this length, which means that how many values this array A consisting of. So this is running from 1 to 100, which are only odd numbers. Obviously the length was 50, so that is what it is giving me here. Okay, now look at the same thing. I want to check what is the size of this matrix. Okay, okay, let me say alien length of x, length of x. So when I say that this length, so each row consisting of two elements, and hence it is giving me 2, but I want to check the matrix size. So that's where I have another function called size of what, size of matrix x. Now look at this, it is giving me 2 comma 2. What does it mean? Row is 2, column is 2. That's what the meaning here. Similarly, size of y, I will tell you. So it is telling you 3 comma 2. Is this clear? This is the difference between length. Length is nothing but in a row how many elements are present. Size is a built-in function used to fetch the size of the matrix. Clear? Okay. So this is, now let me clear the screen and let me clear all the content. Okay, x. Now x is a variable which consisting of uh, the some matrix. Okay, now I just want to multiply, or okay, let me add the another 2 cross 2 matrix with x. Okay, I'll just say 1 2 3 4. Okay, another 2 cross 2 matrix. I'll store this. Okay, okay, Now after this, if I press enter, immediately it will show me the value of y equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I write y equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, but it should not give me the answer immediately. It should present there itself. Okay, so that's where I put semicolon. Putting semicolon, it doesn't mean that I am trying to terminate the line. It is not that meaning. As in your C programming, it is something like I'm terminating that particular line. Here I'm not terminating, I am just saying don't display. So if I press enter, see here, it is not showing me the content of y. Instead, it is hiding. It is trying to hide the content of variable y. Only that. See here, I say x, I put semicolon. Now I press enter. What does it mean? It is trying to hold or hide the values of variable x. If I say simply x and press enter, it will display the content of variable x. Okay, so that is what the meaning of putting semicolon and not applying the semicolon. Okay, unless in the C programming, semicolon there it was must to put, because it is used to terminate your programming line. Okay, so another point here, so let me add the two values x. Okay, and y is there. Now let me take z is equal to x plus y. Okay, now it will going to add the two matrices. One is x and another one is y. Now let me check the output. Instead of pressing z to display the variables, one more function is present, disp, called disp of z. So disp of z, if I put a semicolon, if you put or if you don't put, it will display the value of z variable. Clear? The meaning of disp is very simple. Display the data that is present in the variable set. Okay, that's what the meaning here. Okay, so uh, here you can observe x equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, y equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you observe carefully, the content of z is 10 plus 1, 11, 20 plus 2, 22, 30 plus 3, and so on, right? So it is giving me the addition of two matrices. So here it is, in the command window, we are performing just to understand the how I can able to perform some matrix operations using MATLAB. Okay, next I will take you to, immediately I will take you to the script writing, MATLAB script writing, where you actually write a program and see the output. Okay, that's where. Now, another important point I just want to highlight here, z is equal to x dot y. And let me take z1 is equal to x dot star y. What is the difference between z and z1? What is the difference between z and z1? Can you tell me what type of operations are going to be performed with respect to z and z1? Anyone in the chat box? Yes, of course, star is the operator used to perform the multiplication. But I used star and I used dot star. What is the difference then? Okay, let me check Z. You just perform the operation with X and Y. X is 10, 20, 30, 40 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is a purely a matrix multiplication. How you perform your matrix multiplication, a regular multiplication, that's Now, if I want to perform element by element, what do you mean by element by element? So there is a matrix X and there is a matrix Y. When I say that element by element, first row, first column element should multiply with first row, first column, then it should give me the output 10 into 1 as 10. Now, next second first row second column into first row second column of second matrix, that is 20 into 2, it should give me 40. You got my point here? 30 into 3, 40 into 4. This is how the multiplication should perform, but it is not actually a matrix multiplication. It is, there are two matrices, but element wise matrix multiplication should be performed. That is what the dot star apply indicates. Okay, now look at Z1 output. Look at this. 10 into 1 is 10, 20 into 2 is 40, okay, 30 into 3 is 90, 40 into 4 is 160. So this is the difference between um, the dot star operator and star operator. Okay, so star is a normal matrix multiplication, dot star is used to what, element by element matrix. Okay, now let me go for writing a simple program in, oh, okay. Now whenever I want to write, this is all about what, how to use, or how MATLAB work, or how MATLAB executes. That's what we usually go with the command window. Now quickly I'll just take you how to write a simple program in MATLAB M-script programming. Okay. Okay. Now Go to home. There's an option called new script. Click on new script. Okay. So we're going to get a one untitled editor. So now this is called as an editor window where you can start editing your program. Okay. Now I just use the same thing here. Uh, I want to perform the same values x equal to. I just write all the values like, or let me take two matrix, addition of two matrix, and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, let's take a simple values like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, y is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, mul is the one output variable that I would like to take here, which performs the multiplication of these two. Then el underscore mul, where it is nothing but a element by element multiplication that I would like to perform here, dot star y. Okay, then I want to perform x addition, add equal to addition. So add is not a function here, it is a variable. What I would like to perform, the operation is x and y. Okay, now I want to check the output. So this is a simple program. I want to check the output. Okay, now what should I do? I should keep on display what, display mul. Okay, next display the okay, even if we want to uh, write some printf statement, it is also possible. I just, within the inverted code, the multiplication of x and y, is, okay, is, then I say that disp of mul. If you put mul in a single line inverted quote, then it becomes a character, not the variable. Is this clear? So similarly, I just go for the element by element multiplication of element by element multiplication of this is el underscore mul. Okay. And similarly, I'll go for putting this where this is addition of x and y, and now what is the variable here? So that is add. Okay. Now what this program is doing, very simple. Two matrices I took, which are 2 cross 2 matrix, perform the operations, and I'm trying to display all the answers. Very straightforward, simple and straightforward here. Okay. No, no, let me put backslash in, whether it works here. Let me check. And go to home, editor, go to editor option, and there's an option called save it. Now while saving, you create one uh, variable of one folder of your own. Okay. Now I'm trying to save it in one of my folder called DSP 2020 labs. So I just say example. This is my examples. Okay, let me take example 2, and I just make sure that this file type should be .m. Okay, save this. And there is an option here to run the program. Run it. Now look at this. Okay. Now here in the command window, you are getting all other previous values also, right? So I just it starts confusing me whether which output is pertaining to this particular uh, program. So what I should do, always have a habit of clearing the screen, clearing the screen of your command window and all the variables. Okay. Now it helps you uh, to make sure that your command window is also clear and followed by all the variables are also deleted. So now once again I'll run this program. You can observe here all other variables are going to be deleted in my workspace. Observe carefully. Okay, you just see all other rest of the variables deleted, only the variables which are related to this particular program, that is example dot 2.m, only that variables are residing, rest of the variables got deleted because of my statement clear all. And now observe carefully, mul of x and y, some output you got it, you can cross verify. Element by element multiplication, you can cross verify, and addition of this. Okay. Now if I want to see the mat size of the individual output, then what should I say? What should I say? That is size of. Okay. Now what I do, display size of what? Size of mul variable. Okay, mul variable. Now let's see what output I'm going to get at the end. At the end, if you see, observe carefully, you're going to get 2 cross 2. Okay, since it is merging with 9 and 12, probably you are not able to differentiate. I'll put one more here. So this, the size of matrix mul is. Okay, now I'll put like this. Now I run the program, you can see the difference between previous output and this output. Okay, so that's how the disp function helps me out in printing, giving a printf statements by putting in a single line code. Okay. Now apart from this example, I will give you one more example where you should read the input signals from the user. Here, look at this. I am trying to give input on my own, but user want to give some other inputs. Maybe x equal to 100, 200, 300, 400. Now again, I should edit in my programming. That is not the good habit. Editing in your existing programming, giving the values in your existing program, it is not a good habit of writing a program. It should be generic, right? So what you should do? You should read the signals from the user, right? How do you read it? There is one more option called input, what it performs. I want to know what it performs. So I will give you one more hint how to analyze the functions, built-in functions, and what it does in the MATLAB itself. MATLAB is having a command called help. I said you to use input MATLAB function, built-in function. Now just say help input and press enter. It will give you the brief description about that particular built-in function. Now look at this. So when I say that help input, so it is telling me that input promote for user input, right? So num is a variable is equal to input prompt, displays prompt string on the screen, right? And waits for the keyboard input from the keyboard, evaluates the expressions in the input, right? So this is what it performs. Now see here one of the example. Replay is a variable is equal to input is a built-in function. Okay. Now do you want more? Question mark, yes or no? Now if user press Y, then it performs something. If user performs N, then it performs some other thing. So this is how the function input works. Now what I do is, now x is equal to, x is my input variable, right? So I say input, okay, enter the value of matrix, enter the value of 2 cross 2 matrix, enter the values, enter the value of 2 cross 2, uh, enter the value of, okay, let me say enter the value of matrix x. That's it. Then similarly I will also fetch the value from the user for the second input y, matrix y. Okay, then I also tell my user of size 2 cross 2, of size 2 cross 2, right? So I'm insisting my user to give the input of a matrix x of size 2 cross 2. Now let me see how this works actually. Okay, run. Now look at this. Immediately it is asking me to enter the value of x. So I just say x equal to 1 2 3 4. The moment you press enter, it takes the value, and again I say 12 13 and once again semicolon 14 and 15. No. Now automatically what it does, it takes the input from the user, followed by it is giving me the output of my operations that is going to be performed. Okay. So this is how the uh, programming works with respect to uh, MATLAB. Okay. Now uh, let me take another very simple example. Write a MATLAB program. Write a MATLAB program to to plot to plot an expression called y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c. Very simple. I have a equation now. What type of equation? One linear equation is having with me. I want to plot it. Y is equal to mx plus c. So this is all about a very simple matrix operation that what what we saw in this particular program. Now let me take, I'll just edit here itself. uh, I delete this lines. Okay, now I want to say that, so look at this, percentage stands for comment. Okay, so what is that? I'll just write the title here, uh, to execute y is equal to mx plus c, right? So output y equal to mx plus c, where consider the slope value m equal to 1. Okay, and the range of x from from 1 to 5 for 5 values of x equal to 1, x equal to 2, x equal to 3, and x equal to 4 as such, and c equal to around some 5, or c equal to, even for simplicity it take 1, so that it will be helpful for me. Okay, now I have all the values, right? So what, which all the values that I have? I have m value, m equal to 1. I'll just write m equal to 1, and x is equal to what? I need to go from 1 up till, in the steps of 1 up till 5, right? So for this, what I should perform? I should perform y. Again I'll define c also. C is also equal to 1, right? C is 1, y is 1. I should perform for these values, for every individual values of x, I should perform m star x plus c, right? So this is my simple calculations, right? So save this program and run this. Now I need to see the output. So it is, I have not told to display y. Directly, if you want to see output in the command window, press y and check the values. Okay, right? Okay. Similarly, uh, I want to plot. Now, I want to plot this function. How do you plot? I want to plot x-axis versus y-axis. Okay, there is another function called plot in the MATLAB. Use plot. What you need to plot along x-axis, that is you want to plot x, along y-axis you want to plot y, right? And now save the program, run and check it. Now look at this. So which is nothing but a linear graph. Okay, you can observe. So here it is a x-axis value 1 to 5, it is a y-axis value from 1 to 6, and when you put 1, what happens? When you put 2, what happens? What's the value? Okay, uh, here you can observe carefully. uh, just for one of the value, if you put x equal to 2, what happens? 2 into 1, it is 2, plus 1, 3, right? Now run this at exactly x equal to 2, what is the value? You can check here. So here you can check here, this will be somewhere around 3, somewhere around 3. Now it is not so clearly visible for you, right? Again I want to see what is the value of y at x equal to 3. Again it is not so much clarity for me, right? So what I do is, there is a one more, I want to, if there is a lines that would have been much more helpful for me, right? Here if there are lines like this, as like in your graph sheet, then it have been a more easier for me to see the output, right? So that's where, in order to have it, we call it as a grid. So what I do is I say grid on. Okay, now look at the output, how it looks. Now observe carefully. So now it is very easy for you guys to cross verify your answers. Look at this. When x equal to 2, what is the value of y? Which is very clear. So earlier it was not the case, right? So that is the beauty of MATLAB, and that's where you have a built-in functions like grid on, grid off. Even if you don't want, then you have an option like grid off as such. Okay, now even if you want to see what is the value at y x equal to 4.5, yes, still it is possible for me, right? So this is uh, one of the important point in case of MATLAB. Okay, now you perform this, but you don't know what is x-axis and what is y-axis. I need to give the label. So there is another MATLAB function. Okay, x, I want to label the x-axis, hence the name x label. Label, Label. So I just say along the x-axis it is, I simply say x-axis. Okay, I simply say x-axis. It is as good as stating a printf statement. Whenever I write something with a single inverted code, it is giving me the printf statements as such. Now I go for labeling y-axis also, and now I say that value y-axis. Okay, y-axis. Okay, now I want to give the title, what example it is. There is another option, it is, this is uh, equal to mx plus c, right? This equation is pertaining to y. So now see here how the output varies. Now see here, this graph is consisting, this graph is pertaining to y equal to mx plus c, a straight line equation. Now if even without looking to program, because no one will look into your program, always whenever you go for some advanced studies and you want to put the results in your project, everyone is interested to see your output, not your program, what you have wrote. Because no one, the program is written as per your logic, right? In such cases, what happens? I should be very careful. The moment the person X looks into my graph, he should able to see what is this graph speaks about. Now look at this. I have given the title stating that y equal to mx plus c. He will come to know that, oh, okay, this is a program that he has written for a straight line, and then what represents in x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so this is how a simple things that we try to explain in by using the one suitable example, how to use x label, how to use y label, what is grid, what, how to plot, and what is title as such. Okay, uh, and I directly take one more example. I take one more example where we try to directly go for your MATLAB experience, and what from that. Okay, one more thing. I just give you the thing, and then I'll finish for, I'll go for one more another type of example here. So now I have y equal to mx plus c, and I want to give one more input stating that x1 mx1, okay, and mx2, there are two values. Now I want to plot this, followed by I have another value y dash, or I say y1. Okay, Then this is x2. x2 equal to 1 to 10. Okay. Now I call this as m1, and here m1 is equal to 2. See as you. Now there are two equations, straight line equations with two different slopes. Okay, one is with respect to m1 equal to 1 slope, and another slope value is m1 equal m equal to 1 and m1 equal to 2. Now I want to plot this. Now how do you plot in a same window? I want to plot both the figures. Okay, so if I write plot, then once again it won't be working for me, because in a plot, look at this. In a plot right now, if I plot x comma y, okay, this is x1 comma y, right? This is x1 comma y, and run this. Now this is plotting me only x y is equal to mx plus c, not 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 this m1 x1, right? So this is plot is m x1 plus c. I want m2 x2, m2 x2 plus c. I want let me not, I'll take so m1, so that m1 x1 plus c, and I want to plot m2 x2 plus c. How do you do it? So let me take this, and I will copy paste here. Okay, I'll just edit. What is the plot? x2, right? And x2 equal to this, and I'll call this as y2 here. The y there will y early. M is equal to m2, m1 to m2. So this is m2 x2. Okay, now save this program, try to run this. There is one error here. Line number 9. Look at the line number 9. Okay, it is m1 x1, m1 x1. Okay, still look at this. It is not giving me the output of m1 x1 plus c. It is giving me the latest function, right? m2 x2. It is giving me this output. Now how to rectify this? Because I need both the plot. So there is another, I can divide the plot into subplots, which is as good as I can divide a house into two different rooms, right? Similarly here, I can divide that plot into two different plots, so that it is something like subplot. subplot okay, subplot. Now if you need more information, as I told you, use help command, and make sure that how it works. Okay, now I'll teach you. This is something like I'll try to write here subplot, something like m comma n comma p. This is standard uh, syntax. So m is which row, n is which column, position. Now there are two plots. Okay, in the upper one and in the lower one, I can plot. I can place the plot one at the top and another on the bottom, which means that the top one is called as a first row and a only single column. Okay, if I assume that this is command window, look at this is command window. Okay, within this I want to divide in the horizontally. Now how do you do it actually? So this is somewhere else. A row, I want to have two rows, 1 and 2, right? Two rows, but only single column is sufficient. Okay, now P stands for position. Where you want to put that particular figure, whether you want to put it in a first position or whether you want to put it in a second position. That is what the meaning of subplot. Now this is where I divide my plot into subplot 2 comma, and how many columns? Only single column, where the position first position. Okay. So this is I'll put it for this plot. Why put m1 x1? I'll say subplot 2 comma 1 comma 1. I'm trying to divide my plot, stating that you divide your plot into two rows and one column. In that first position I am reserving for x1 comma y. Similarly, here I take this. Now let me run this program. You'll get to know how it is. Okay. Now look at this. It is in the entire plot. I am trying to divide it for first half and second half. Okay. So this is row 1 and row 2 is empty because I have not given any uh, uh, to anyone to use this particular space, right? So this is first position, this is second position, right? Now similarly, I will take this, I'll copy paste subplot, control C, I'll paste here. And what is the position? Second position. Now I'll run this. Now observe carefully. Now here, look at this. In the first case, it is m1 x1 c. In the second case, it is m2 x2 c plus c. Is it clear? So this is the importance of subplot. Okay, I can divide this once again. 1, 2. This is horizontal division. I can also divide this vertical. Vertically means column 1, column 2, row 1, row 2. There are totally 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I want to use this particular position, then how do you write? Subplot first row, first column, position 1 comma, that is out of which total row is 2, total columns is 2, 2 comma 2 comma 1. I want to use this position, so total row 2, total columns 2. Which position? Fourth position. Like that you are supposed to write the program. Okay. The process here itself, I'll just show you how it works. 2 comma 2 comma, for this example itself. Okay. 2 comma 2. So I am trying to divide it into 4 parts. Now first position, and I'll go for last position. Run this program. Now observe carefully. This is how it is going to be divided. Okay. 2 rows and 2 columns. Here another 2 spaces are empty. I can use this for some other program to plot some other equations also. Okay. So this is all about the subplot. Okay. I hope you got some basic idea of this. I'll just try to write a simple program as a homework. You take it. Try to write a program, MATLAB program, to generate exponential signal. Okay, for which you use the help window, stating help exp. Okay, help exp. Use this function. Okay, and try to generate exponential signal. Okay, similar, and I will be giving you one more example. Use help command. Using help command, uh, try to generate uh, or okay, use this command conv and see to that what this particular function will perform. Okay, use these two are the homework for you. Okay, built-in functions, use these two built-in functions, understand and see to that how it works. Okay, once again I'll take one more session on to generate a unit impulse function and unit step function and one sinusoidal waveform. Later on, quickly I will move for your lab examples. Okay, okay. Let us stop for the day. Okay, let us wind up this session here.